White goes from gate 2. Andy Smith from gate 3 for Belle Vue in the blue helmet colours. And on the outside, Jan Stakeman. He's the Dane from Oxford. He goes on the outside. We're just about to get underway. Our starting marshal, Roy Gavitas, who's been here for a long, long time, is the man in charge at the tapes. In a nice, neat blazer tonight. No colourful gear for him. He's been around a long while. The clerk on the course, Alan Murray's been here even longer. He's been 45 years with Belle Vue. 55 years. My mathematics going to pop, but here we are. That is Roy Gavitas at the tapes now. He will get the riders up. He'll be responsible on all 15 heats. The sun is still shining here in Manchester. Local cricket fans, I think, disappointed. Lancashire beaten by Yorkshire down the road at Old Trafford today. But let's hope for their sake their Speedway team can do a little bit better. There's Mr. Gavitas. There are the riders getting up to tapes. Todd Wiltshire in the white or light grey leathers and the white helmet colours. On the near side here, Ronnie Corrie. First bend, action vital here, and away they move on the inside. Ronnie Corrie in the red picks it up. He's in front, coming round in blue. Teammate Andy Smith is Belle Vue 1 and 2 to the first bend, exactly as they should. Smith going round the outside. The opportunity to have team riding now, and the chance for the home team to go in front for the very first race. And this is vital for the home team, Belle Vue, Peter.
Yeah, we're seeing a good bit of team riding here by the Belle Vue boys. Andy Smith's riding out wide so as not to throw some shale there over Ronnie Corrie, who's riding the inside line very, very well. The very tight line there by Ronnie.
Important for them, but this will be a 5-1 if it stays like this, because they can keep the team riding. Jan Stakeman in second place. Real disappointment for the man at the back in the white helmet colours, Todd Wiltshire. But with a lap and a quarter to do, it looks as if Belle Vue have this one tied up. Just the start, the home team, their promoter and team manager John Perry will want. Andy Smith and Ronnie Corrie in command. There they are, Smith on the outside in blue, Corrie in second place in red, and that's how it's surely going to finish if it stays like this. But Corrie goes through, Smith picks it up, Smith takes the checkered flag in blue, ahead of Corrie in red. Third place goes to Jan Stakeman in yellow and black for the visitors. That's a 5-1 heat victory for the home club Belle Vue Aces. Just the start they want. 5 points to 1, a maximum win in the first heat. Good team riding by those two, and from the start, Ronnie Corrie picked it up.
Yeah, he did, Tony. You can see the start. Ronnie's on the inside start position. He makes a perfect start. As Kelvin said, the track's a little bit wet and slimy at the moment, but Ronnie made a perfect first corner. You see he looks back there, he looks for Andy Smith. He looks on the inside to make sure Todd Wiltshire isn't there. He lets Andy Smith come round that outside so as to keep Andy clean. Ronnie's holding the other guys back there. When they come there to the last lap, Andy Smith's riding the outside line. We know Andy loves that outside run, and Ronnie's turning very, very tight round the inside. The bike's almost reversing into that corner there on the inside. And here we go.
That's what you needed. Yeah, it was good. Ronnie made a good start. Todd was there, and I just managed to get past him and rode side by side. And no one can.
Yeah, as you went down into the third corner, it looked like Ronnie sort of dropped down nice and low for you, and you were able to get round the outside of him.
Yeah, I could use a nice line around the outside, and Ronnie was covering the inside, and they couldn't get near us.
That's right. Is that your preferred sort of way round? You prefer riding the outside and then Ronnie the inside?
I don't mind the inside. It just depends how we go off the start.
Right.
If I've had to cut back and go under someone, then I ride the inside.
Okay. Nice.
How are the conditions out there?
It's good. It was a little bit wet, but it's drying out quick.
Generally, how do they change here? Because we keep talking about the conditions at the beginning of a meeting, the middle and at the end. How will they progress with a night like this, do you think?
Well, actually, I think it'll make a little bit of dirt.
Yeah.
From, say, heat 5 till heat 8, and then it'll slowly disappear where there's nothing left.
Obviously, with the sunshine and the wind, it's going to be a little bit wet initially, because obviously they don't want it to dry out.
Yeah.
But you feel after 4 or 5 heats that the track will make a nice dirt line and a good racing line.
Yeah, I think there'll be a good racing line. Say from heat 5 till heat 8, and then it'll go pretty slick.
Well done.
Well, that's much. We'll let you get back to the pits, and we'll get underway for heat 2. The Aces get a pair.
Alan Rossiter from Oxford in white. Kai Laukkanen, the reserve for Belle Vue, goes in red from gate 2. Lawrence Hare of Oxford goes in gate 3, and on the outside, Jason Hawkes, the second of the Belle Vue riders. Remember that Belle Vue lead by 5 points to 1, having got a maximum in the first heat. The score has set. A referee up above us, David Peat, a watching eye as he looks down, and away they go. All hell letting loose there, and we'll have to await the referee's decision, because the tape's almost strangling the man in yellow and black, Lawrence Hare, who gets away in the end there, and the exclusion light is against Kai Laukkanen in red, and that really is a shock, because Kai Laukkanen was deemed by our referee David Peat to have touched the tapes, and the Belle Vue fans won't like that one.
No, not at all. We saw that on the starting gate. You can see there, Kai's rolled onto the tapes before the tape's gone up. He's tried to anticipate them. The tape's broken and he's out. He's back. He's on the way back to the pits.
Well, Kai Laukkanen excluded for breaking the tapes. Now, he has an option here. It is the reserves heat. It'll mean that Kai Laukkanen will now go from 15 metres back. It'll mean he has to go from the outside. It'll mean a shuffle round of the starting positions as well. So, Peter, really not the fans wanted, but it's going to be a spectacle. Laukkanen going from 15 metres back.
Yeah, Laukkanen will start 15 metres back on the gate 4 position. So he's got quite a good run into the first turn to make a good radius. And perhaps the way he's riding, it may be just what he wants, because if anyone can pass from behind, it's him.
2. Lawrence Hare from Oxford, gate 3. And Kai Laukkanen, the man who broke the tapes in the first effort at the start, is 15 metres back and will have it all to do. I just wonder whether that outside line will help him, Peter.
Well, I think it will, because he can have a good blast around the outside. There go the tapes.
There we go. Laukkanen has to blast from the back, but in blue in front it's Jason Hawkes. The Belle Vue fans cheering, but look, going through on the inside, and Alan Rossiter mounts a challenge, but Laukkanen is already in touch. Laukkanen in the red helmet colours. Oh, he's down, and he's down. He made too much of an effort. That 15-metre start perhaps told he was going too quickly for the conditions, and now, well, that man in blue for Belle Vue, Jason Hawkes out front, will have to carry it on his own ahead of the 2 riders for Oxford. If they stay as it is, this heat will be 3-all. But Jason Hawkes out front now has to do it all on his own for the home team, and the chasing pack at the back, well, they're just going to sit there because they have no risk to take.
Yeah, Jason Hawkes is riding real well. He's now getting the hang of the Belle Vue track since he's been here, and he's struggling a bit on the away tracks, but he's going great tonight here, and he certainly knows his way around here by now.
Well, of course, it's not very competitive, because all the Oxford riders have to do is to sit there as they are in 2nd and 3rd place to earn the 3 race points between them. The points will be shared in this heat. There's no doubt about the winner there. Jason Hawkes in blue, ahead of in 2nd place in yellow and black, Lawrence Hare. Alan Rossiter in last place. That's 3 points apiece, the heat score. It's 8 points to 4 now, the lead for the home club, Belle Vue, with that 4-point margin from heat 1. But their 2nd successive heat winner, and the revised start was okay, but afterwards Laukkanen went to pot.
Yeah, this is the tapes, that's the start. Again, on the inside, Alan Rossiter makes a good start, but you can see Kai Laukkanen, who started 15 metres back, he's already catching them up. He catches the back wheel there. He catches the back wheel of Alan Rossiter, and down he goes. But Jason Hawkes had already gone clear, and he got a good lead. But that was a bad bit of... he totally missed that corner there, did Kai Laukkanen, and caught the back wheel of Alan Rossiter. Well, there's the finish there with Jason Hawkes, and that's 3 points for Belle Vue and 3 points for Oxford.
What?
Make really big stop. There was water at the track, was a little bit water in that place, but he make really big stop, and I didn't have anything to do. I was closing my speed, but still I hit a little bit the back wheel, and it's coming off.
So just a little bit maybe overzealous on that, a bit too much effort maybe to come from 15 yards back.
Yeah, I don't know.
Next time.
Yeah, next time. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Thanks a lot.
Partner Rennie Madsen just on standby really here for the moment. It's not MADS, it's Madsen of course, but little error on the captions, but Rennie Madsen's a Dane. Steve Johnston, the Australian for Oxford, goes from gate 2. Jimmy Nilsson from Belle Vue, of course, we've been talking about, goes from gate 3. And Craig Boyce, the Aussie captain of Oxford, goes from the outside. Our starting marshal, Roy Gabitas, gets them underway, or gets them up to tapes eventually. He's struggling a little bit at the moment. They're moving up. There is rider in blue, Rennie Madsen, from the inside. Probably one of the heavier riders in British Speedway at the moment, Rennie Madsen. Starting marshal walks away they go, picking it up in blue on the inside. Madsen, but coming to the fore in red there is Jimmy Nilsson. Nilsson picks up the racing line, picks up the grip, extends his lead down the back straight. Typical of this Grand Prix star this year. Almost effortless, it seems, when he takes the lead. And after the end of the first lap, surely this race sewn up for Jimmy Nilsson.
Yeah, Jimmy's so good at starting. He made a beautiful start there from gate 3, and now he's just pulling away from the opposition. But Craig Boyce and Steve Johnson there are both in contention, and Craig Boyce has been riding really well this last couple of meetings. He's had some great scores, so he's found his form again.
That's how it should be for them to back up 2nd and 3rd. If they can't make the win out front and they get 3 points, that's 2 for 2nd and 1 for 3rd, and that will keep Oxford in this with Rennie Madsen at the back. But with a lap to go, Jimmy Nilsson looking to go wider and wider perhaps as he seeks out the best racing line for future and perhaps more competitive races here tonight. But down the back straight, The Swedish star is in front. Jimmy Nilsson is going to win this. The cheers of the Belle Vue fans greet him as he takes the checkered flag. Second place in yellow is Craig Boyce, the Aussie captain for Oxford. Third in white is Steve Johnston, his fellow Aussie. Again, a split of the points at Belle Vue 3, Oxford 3. It's now 11-7 in Belle Vue's favour, but no doubt about that man, no doubt about his current form, and no doubt about his value in that race as he took the checkered flag. Jimmy Nilsson of Belle Vue.
GP until tomorrow.
I try not to, but it's all very hard. You know, you've got all month, you're planning a lot of things for the GP, and you're trying to be reserved about what you're doing. But tonight I thought I'd make a few good starts and show people what I can do.
Talking of your month, you've had a mad busy month, haven't you? You've done a world tour, it seems, in the last month.
It feels like it as well. Getting too old, too many grey hairs, and they're coming quicker. So yeah, it's been busy, very busy, and I've been home for nearly 4 days now, so it's quite unusual. The kids don't know who I am.
It must be a world record. You must be taking a lot of vitamin pills.
Yeah, I've taken a few boxes a day, and it keeps me going.
OK, well, it looked like you were going out there. Good ride, well done. Nice to see you out there. Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks. Jonathan, he's going.
This time on the inside in blue. Lawrence Hare for Oxford goes from gate 2. Jason Lyons, the almost unbeatable round this track, goes in red from gate 3. And Paul Hurry from the outside. And of course, a couple of riders here having their first outings. Jason Lyons and Paul Hurry looking at the referee to give him the green light. Best starting gate so far, gate 3, and that's exactly where we can see the man in red, Jason Lyons, going from.
I think Jason must be a popular name in Mildura because that's where they both come from, so must have been a fashion.
Do you follow the soaps in Australia, Peter? You'll understand why. Belle Vue lead, 11 points to 7. This is heat number 4. Up go the tapes and away they fly. And Lyons flies from gate 3 to pick up the lead there. Jason Hawkes goes through the inside. The battle is joined by Lawrence Hare moving into second place. Surprisingly in the back is Paul Hurry, but a good ride by Lawrence Hare to get himself in front of Jason Hawkes. And now he's going to look for his teammate to come in support and go in front of Hawkes as well. Paul Hurry will do it and does. Round the outside, brilliant action from the Oxford riders. They're packing in second and third place again, but way out front is Jason Lyons with half the race to go, but quite a battle going on for the minor placings.
Yeah, I think it's quite important that the two Oxford boys consolidate this second and third place because the rider in blue, Jason Hawkes, is having a real go here, trying to get past Lawrence Hare, and the two of them have decided to go it alone, so there's no team riding involved in this one. But,
no contest though behind the man out front, Jason Lyons. He's literally 50 metres in front. In second place is Paul Hurry, but the back is the action right at the back. The Belle Vue fans are cheering because it's all happening there with the pressure from Jason Hawkes taking his man wide, but coming through again in yellow to take third place is Lawrence Hare. Second place going to the rider in white, Paul Hurry. Again, it's a share of the points, 3 points apiece behind this man, Jason Lyons, but a tremendous win for him. It's 14-10 in favour of Belle Vue, the home side, who have now provided all 4 heat winners, the latest of them, Jason Lyons, and he did it all the way from the gate.
Well, miles ahead at that one.
I just tried to do, 4 smooth laps. It's usually a little bit tricky in the first few races, a bit of water and stuff like that. But yeah, it handled quite nice and felt quite comfortable, so it's good.
Well, let's take a look at the start because I think that's where you won it, and you had a great one. Look at this.
The first initial jump didn't feel all that good, it's spinning there, but it starts hooking up there, so got in the dirt and got a nice run around, so it's perfect.
Yeah, gate 3 seems to be working very well. I think actually just about nearly all the heats have been won from gate 3.
Right.
It just seems to, with the banking there, it seems to give you a nice swoop around that first corner.
If you can get on there first, it's definitely an advantage.
Yeah, how do you feel about going out in heat 4? Because it's quite a long wait. I know some riders do like to get their first heat over and done with. And how about yourself? Do you mind the wait?
It works in, both ways. On bad meetings, bad wet ones, you get rid of a fair bit of the water first, and then, some of them it's quite grippy for your first one, which can upset you sometimes. But it's been working quite well for me this year, so it's good.
Well, well done. We'll let you get back to the pits and make any alterations.
To him is Jimmy Nilsson from Belle Vue. Todd Wiltshire in white goes from gate 3 on the outside. Rennie Madsen, and of course 2 Danes, Stakeman on the inside, Madsen on the outside. Our Starling Marshall struggles to get them up to tapes. They're wide apart there. They're waiting for the tapes to go up for our referee, David Peat. Away they go, and we look from gate 3, but he's left standing, Todd Wiltshire this time, and picking it up once again is Jimmy Nilsson. But Wiltshire's put the pressure on. Wiltshire has obviously changed something for this heat in second place. Back in third is Stakeman. Back at the rear in blue is Rennie Madsen. And if it stays like this, we've another 3 all. But Nilsson again impressive out front, PC.
Yeah, again, Jimmy made it from from the start. Jimmy is, like I said, he's such a good starter. And Todd Wiltshire, who's made the start in second place there, is holding on to that second place. But of course, everyone's having a go behind him, and there's quite a lot of action going on. As Ronnie Madsen's having a go here at the two Oxford riders.
Yes, Ronnie Madsen putting some pressure on at the back, and Madsen coming round the outside there and putting some pressure on Jan Stakeman with a lap and a half to go. But Jimmy Nielsen there in the red helmet colours has plenty of time to look back, because he is some 60 metres in front now of Todd Wiltshire. Wiltshire and Stakeman having to do some team riding to keep Madsen at bay at the rear. I think they've now done enough, because they are leaving a gap between themselves and he. But Jimmy Nielsen in red again looks back, and he looks back on two Oxford riders behind him, finishing with Wiltshire ahead of Stakeman, Madsen at the rear, and that's the fourth successive split of the points at 3-all, and it's the fifth successive heat victory, or individual heat victory, for the home team Belle Vue Aces. Oxford have yet to provide an individual heat winner, but they don't come much better than Jimmy Nielsen, who again did it all the way over 4 laps. For great things in this race. Ronnie Corrie, the number 1 for Belle Vue, goes from gate 3, and on the outside is Alan Rossiter, the Oxford reserve. This is going to be tough for Oxford to keep in this at the moment. Just a 4-point deficit, as you see throughout the meeting. The home team Belle Vue wear the red and the blue helmet colours. The visitors from Oxford wear white and yellow and black. The red and blue in this case, Ronnie Corrie and Andy Smith. White and yellow and black, Paul Hurry and Alan Rossiter. They line up at tapes. Our starting marshal having a problem getting Andy Smith up there, but now he is. The sun goes down, it sets in the west, and the action pops up. Away they go from the inside. Andy Smith is keeping it down. Andy Smith is holding it tight and on the inside line, but there goes Hurry, and going between them, he's somehow picking it up there. 1 and 2 for Belle Vue, because Corrie is in the tracks behind Andy Smith, and Hurry is trying an outside lane. Hurry by name, Hurry by nature. He's come round the lot to pick up the lead.
Yeah, he's done the work down there on that bottom turn. Like Kelvin said, there's quite a bit of banking now on the circuit, and he used that riding out wide. He went very wide down that bottom end. Andy Smith's having a good go round the inside, but he's on the racing line. That's Paul Hurry.
That's what the Oxford team management want. That's what their fans want, because Paul Hurry, can he provide the first heat victory? A lap and a quarter to go, already from the 5 heats so far. All the heat winners have come from Belle Vue, but there goes Andy Smith, has gone round him, right around the outside. A truly brilliant ride by the nearing veteran and 3 times British champion. And now the pressure is on in second place from Ronnie Corrie, because he's coming through on the inside. But Smith is going to hold this. Hurry gets second place in white, and Ronnie Corrie is third in red, and that the best race of the night by far. Some tremendous speedway, places changing all over the place, and a 4-2 to Belle Vue is the net result. They lead by 21 points to 15. A chance for tactical substitutes for the visitors, but what a race that was.
Oh, that was a fantastic speedway race, especially by Andy Smith. You can see Andy on the inside. He didn't make that start. Paul Hurry's made a beauty, but he's run far too wide on the pits turn, lost the lead to both the Belle Vue riders, but there's a gap down by the fence between Ronnie Corrie's handlebars. Paul Hurry sneaks through there. Now he runs very wide into that bottom turn, very, very wide onto that banking on the outside. No one's been on that bit of circuit, and he just goes right round the outside of Andy Smith. Now Andy really had a great ride there, because Andy went by Paul Hurry on that same bit that Paul Hurry used. So it's a brilliant race from Andy Smith to snatch that lead back, and that win for him.
Well, what a tremendous ride by Andy Smith. It still means all 6 heat winners so far have come from Belle Vue. There's only 6 points in it, and Paul Hurry might have some interrogation from our man, Jonathan Green.
Well, then about interrogation, because in my mind it looked a pretty faultless ride. Just Andy was side of brilliant form then.
Yeah, it's always a struggle when you're in front to keep everyone behind you. But Andy done a blinder of a corner, and I thought he was coming around the outside. And I knew that if he came around the outside, he would come back across me. And in that stage, I was knackered, so there's not a lot I could do about it.
No, it was a brilliant ride there. I thought you might just hang on to it, but Andy obviously just had that bit more momentum to get round you. But after your first ride, did you make any changes for your second one?
No, I didn't. I felt the bike was working quite well. So I thought I'd leave it and try and make a better start than what I did in the first one. But I think now I will make some changes after that ride.
Right.
We've been talking, it's obviously been a bit of a struggle so far for Oxford to actually win a particular heat, and it happened there again. Is this a track that's not easy for an away side?
It's not really, because you come in, you never know when it's going to be slick or grippy. So you've really got to set your bike up at home, ready for the meeting. So it's a job to know what to set it up for. So sometimes you get caught out, but tonight I think we may start to put a charge on later on.
Well, he's still with them. That's what's important. Well done again.
Yep.
So then, unfortunately, Harry couldn't get...
Belle Vue goes from gate 2, Craig Boyce from Oxford goes from gate 3, and Kai Laukkanen goes from the outside. That's 3 Australians on the inside 3 gates and a Finnish rider on the outside. Belle Vue leading by 21. Remember, no heat has been won from the outside. Oxford have gates 1 and 3 in this, which do provide perhaps the favoured mathematics, but 33% for gate 2, and that's where Jason Lyons goes from. And I'd have a little bet, PC, that Jason Lyons will win this one as well.
Well, the way he can make starts, I mean, he's the man on form at the moment. But you see how wide the track is there. The track there is 12 metres wide, which is 2 metres wider than it has to be. So there is a lot of room on that starting gate.
The starting marshal walks away. The referee lets the tapes go up. A flyer in yellow and black there for Craig Boyce. But certainly, as he comes through now to put the pressure on the man out front, Jason Lyons. Lyons has held it now. The battle at the back. Laukkanen trying to go around the outside. The Oxford riders trying to pack. The man in yellow and black there, Craig Boyce, trying to take Laukkanen wide and leave space on the inside for Steve Johnson to come through. That's exactly what's happened there. But the battle at the back is very interesting behind Jason Lyons, who's miles in front again.
Yeah, Laukkanen's riding a very brave race here. He's gone right round the outside of the Oxford pair. Brilliant ride from him. Total persistence there. In the end, that paid off. And the 2 Oxford boys, they've got no answer to that there from Laukkanen.
Brilliant riding by Laukkanen. We've seen him do it so often. The action there at the back. The man out front going into the last lap there is Jason Lyons with time to spare, but his teammate is right behind him, Kai Laukkanen, and this will open up a 10-point gap if it stays like this to Belle Vue, and Oxford will struggle to come back from that because Jason Lyons gets the cheers of the home fans. Kai Laukkanen matches it. In 3rd place in yellow and black is Craig Boyce. Disappointment for Steve Johnson, but a 5-1 scoreline for heat number 7 provides the 7th successive heat victor for Belle Vue, and they now lead by 26 points to 16. The start was tight, but thereafter it went the way of Jason Lyons.
Yeah, whatever Jason Lyons is using at the moment on these machines, he's certainly got the answers. We can see he drops the clutch, the bike lifts, but immediately it propels itself into that first corner. And you know, Craig Boyce and Steve Johnson, you know, they don't hang about. And to beat them so convincingly like that from the start, it's unbelievable, really. Jason's gone straight for that dirt, which is on the outside. He's already got time to look back at the opposition. As he goes down the back straight, he's got that lead sorted out. But Laukkanen there, we can see that big blast around the outside. Totally off the racing line, or it looks that way, but when he goes down the back straight, there's just enough room to squeeze there between Craig Boyce's handlebar, and poor old Steve Johnson there couldn't do much about that one. Brilliant ride there from Laukkanen. Of course, Jason Crump, marvellous out there in front.
Jason Crump, he may be as good as Jason Lyons, he certainly is. The man in red, a triumphant 2nd successive heat victory for Jason Lyons. What a night he's having. Well, Kai Laukkanen, the man of the moment, perhaps a sensational ride, and he's in our studio with Kelvin and Jonathan.
Yeah, no question about it. We said that Craig Boyce and Oxford needed to win that, but you guys just gave him a real display there. That 5-1 could be so decisive in terms of the rest of this evening.
Yeah, I think that now we start the race, and there was a couple bad heat for us, and when I crashed and so on, and now we start to flying, I think.
Sure, gate 4 obviously is a bit hard and slick there. Nobody's been really getting out of gate 4, but the track must have improved because you were able to come right around the outside.
Yeah, there is now moving good weight in.
We can see it here. You go around the outside now.
That was quite hard. There was Steve Johnson and Boyce in team riding.
Sure.
And, quite hard to get the.
Yeah, but your bikes really seem to have hooked up really well coming off the corner there.
Yeah, that's pushing quite good. I get longer stride than Boyce and Sono, and I get running much longer at get past.
I got to ask you, Kai, you're having a phenomenal season in the Elite League. How are you enjoying it? I mean, you're supposedly a reserve, but you're flying out there.
Yeah, I really enjoy over here. Here is a good team in Belle Vue and a really nice place to live with Andy, and everything is going quite good at the moment.
You know, I know we were speaking earlier when I was in the changing room actually, and you were saying that your engine tuner, the man Michael Blixt in Sweden, is doing your engines, and you feel that that's helped you a lot this season.
Yeah, I start end of last season. I changed to Blixt, and I liked really much last season, and now that start to work really good and really nicely. Yeah.
Well done, Kai. Keep it up. We love to watch it. Keep going.
Thank you.
Well, certainly the man.
Isn't it?
Yeah, no, I'm really struggling with turns 3 and 4. I'm having a lot of trouble in the middle of the corner and can't seem to get a nice line around there, so we're struggling, so got to do something in a minute.
I mean, the main thing is obviously getting heat winners at the moment. We've gone 8 heats now without a winner, so that seems to be the problem, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, if you don't win heats, we're losing. So yeah, it's hard at the moment. These boys have got it sussed around here. They ride every week, of course, and I think it's one of the most difficult tracks in the country. So we'll lift our game a little bit and try and win a few heats.
In that specific heat then that you just went out in, you were obviously trying to team race there with Steve. Do you feel that's why you lost your position, because you were trying to keep Kai out and then he suddenly just shot through you like a bullet?
Yeah, I didn't. I thought Steve was out. I didn't realise Kai was on the outside of me, and when I seen him, it was too late. So I have to ride a little bit wider next time.
Okay, well, good luck with it. No tactical substitution.
Hawks goes from gate 2. Jan Statement for Oxford, gate 3. Andy Smith on the outside. What about that tactical idea?
Yeah, well, we know that Heat 8 is usually the race that you should use your tactical, and they've not used it, but they perhaps feel that the riders out there at the moment can possibly do the business, because they've got to at least beat Jason Hawks.
Well, Andy Smith, who rides in red in this one, has in fact enjoyed 2 heat victories so far. Jimmy Nielsen's had 2, Jason Lance has had 2, and there's 1 also for Jason Hawks in the reserve heat, of course. So all 7 heats have seen the checkered flag go to a Belle Vue man. It needs to change if Oxford are going to keep in this. That man in white is Jan Statement. Dare say that he may have a chance. And so too in yellow and black, Lawrence Hare, the reserve, who perhaps flattered to deceive last ride out, Lawrence Hare, although he's been paid for 4 points so far. Starting marshal walks away. Belle Vue, oh, takes problems there. The referee's letting it go. I just wonder what happened there. There seemed to be some muddle as it went up, but Belle Vue won't mind, because they're in front with 1 and 2. The man in red, Andy Smith, out front of his teammate and partner, Jason Hawks. Third in white, Lawrence is Jan Statement, and at the back is Lawrence Hare. But mayhem at the start. Belle Vue will be pleased, Peter.
Yeah, Jason Hawks took a chance on that start, just ducked under the tape. The referee could have stopped that one, but we can see it's paid off because the referee hasn't stopped it. Now he's got that second place. He's partnering Andy Smith. It looks like they're going for that 5-1. But Jan Stekman's having a big go here, but can he make it? We'll just have to see.
Well, they're team riding now, because Andy Smith is having time to look back and see where his partner Jason Hawks is. He sees him tucked in inside there, and the battle is on for Statement in the 3rd position. You can see just behind there. But the Belle Vue riders, Statement is trying, but they should be holding him out, and they're being encouraged by their fans with half a lap to go. Statement is still trying. Statement is putting the pressure on. No problem for Andy Smith out front, but Statement comes through on the line against second place and almost frightens Andy Smith. Jason Hawks totally surprised in 3rd place there as to how it turned out. A brilliant finish by Jan Statement, but a great ride by Andy Smith. And well, all sorts of things happened at the start, and it'd be interesting to see exactly what happens again, Peter, from the start line. It wasn't straightforward.
Yeah, this is the start. You see there, Jason Hawks makes a jump at the start. The tape hadn't gone, he moved, but when the tapes went, Jason was on the move. You can see that again. That was what you call anticipation, and you know, if you can make starts like that every time, you would be world champion, but unfortunately that isn't the case. You're not allowed to do that, and but what a jet from the start. I mean, totally leading that race by the first couple of yards, and when they get to the back straight, there's Andy Smith right with him. And Andy rode a great race basically to team ride. We can see them team riding here. Andy's out wide, but there in the white helmet, Jan Stekman's having a big go. He comes into the picture here on the outside. There's a blast around the outside. He really had a good go there, Jan Stekman. Tried everything he did. In the end, he managed just to sneak round the last turn. Stekman's there. It looks as though at this point that Hawks has got the race sewn up, but they're still team riding. They get to the last turn, Andy Smith still in front. Hawks is covering the inside gate. Stekman's having that big blast around the outside. As we come on to the finish there, Hawks lifts just that little bit, and there we can see that by half a wheel, Jason Hawks loses that second place as Jan Stekman.
One has to... And Alcanon, the reserve replacement, goes for Belle Vue in gate 2. Alan Rossiter, the Oxford reserve, in gate 3. And that superstar, currently number 2 in the world, Jimmy Nielsen, goes from the outside, looking for his 3rd successive heat victory of the night. Yet to be touched by an opponent. Away goes the starting marshal. Away goes Jimmy Nielsen. On the inside in white goes Paul Hurry. He's trying to balk him. Nielsen's battling. Hurry's picked it up. His teammate in blue, Kai Laukanen's in second place, but the heat leader at this moment is Paul Hurry of Oxford. He's going wide, but look at Jimmy Nielsen putting the pressure on, and there's going to be plenty more to come in this heat as Nielsen, I think, mounts his challenge on Paul Hurry.
Yeah, Paul Hurry's doing very, very well to hold this challenge off by the Belle Vue boys. Nielsen's having to go round the inside now now because he tried the outside run, but Paul Hurry's cottoned onto that straight away. Paul's riding very, very wide himself now. Stop that run by Jimmy. We can see Paul slightly pulling away here, and Laukkanen basically has got no answer either.
It'll be interesting. Oh, Paul Hurry has stopped. It's really not going Oxford's way. Looking up completely. A big mechanical problem there for Paul Hurry, and this is going to gift another 5-1 to the way of Oxford. It looks so promising. His machine looks so fast, and with half a lap to go now, it's going to be heat win number 3 for Jimmy Nielsen in red. Tragedy for Paul Hurry, but certainly backing him up in second place is Kai Laukkanen. Third in yellow is Alan Rossiter, who gets another point. Belle Vue take the heat by 5 points to 1. They now lead by 35 points to 19, and it's a third heat victory in the row for Jimmy Nielsen, but tragedy for Paul Hurry, who was going so very, very well. Tragedy struck a mechanical problem, but no such problems for the world number 2, Jimmy Nielsen, that man from Sweden who's been touring the world, and certainly it was tough for him from the start, but he made up for it.
Well, Tony, when things are going well for you, that's what happens. It looked as though Paul Hurry was going to win that ride, but of course, here Paul's made a great first turn. He's leading there around the first turn. See there, Jimmy runs very wide outside. He's off. He's actually too far off the racing line. But Kai Laukkanen's come through on the inside. But Graham Hurry is riding very, very well. He's covering the inside and the outside. Here's Jimmy Nielsen again on the outside. Jimmy's very close to that fence. He gets the wheels in line early, but again, there's not enough room to come through. Paul Hurry's closed that gap. Laukkanen's having to go here again on the inside. Bit of puff smoke there coming out of the back exhaust pipe there of Laukkanen. We can see Jimmy Nielsen plugging away, and when things are going well for you, Jimmy Nielsen didn't have to do anything there because Paul Hurry's bike, it looked as though the engine's seized. He did very well to hold on to that bike as the back wheel locked up and ground to a halt. And Jimmy Nielsen, again, he gets another 3. It doesn't matter the way you do it as long as you get the 3 points.
Well, we've gone for 9 heats now. Every single heat winner has come from the home team, Belle Vue. They lead by...
Rod's broken. It happened rather sharply, and I couldn't really get the clutch in time. And when something like that happens, that's it. You just stop dead.
Well, you can see what happened. It all just came to a very quick halt, didn't it? You've been doing so well up until that point, so you were holding them off well.
Yeah, I felt it was working quite well. I changed my bike from the previous race, like I said I would, and it seemed to go a bit pear-shaped there.
Yeah, that was unfortunate because you know Jimmy tried hard round the outside there, and you squeezed him off, and then he sort of got away. And in actual fact, you're on for a heat win there. There was no doubt about it.
That's right. They always say that if an engine's going good, it's something's going to happen sooner or later.
Sure.
And it did. So
that's unfortunate.
Is it time for desperate measures? What about some tactics here?
I think we're going to have to now. I'm going to jump on my second bike, but that was my number 1 bike. Although there's not a lot of difference between the 2 of them. Hopefully this one should be just as good.
All right, well, best of luck to you. We'll see after this. We'll take a short break. It's down to desperate measures.
Gets there. Andy Smith with 3 heat wins to his name out of 3. Turning round there in his stall, as you might say, goes from gate 2. Steve Johnston, the Aussie from Oxford, who's not had a great night, scored just 1 point. He goes from gate 3. And Ronnie Corrie, the captain of the Belle Vue Aces, goes from the outside. There we see in the distance Craig Boyce already coming up to tapes. Andy Smith has gone back to get rid of the condensation beneath his visor. And they're standing back as if not a care in the world. It's Ronnie Corrie. Peter, how nervous Judder there for Boyce? He's got problems abounding in every respect here. Don't think he's a very happy man, is that rider from Sydney tonight, Craig Boyce. A 31-year-old, got a birthday, I think Monday, I think he's 32 years old, Craig Boyce. Going to get underway at last. Away goes the starting marshal. Up go the tapes. Boyce has kept it down well. On the inside in blue, Andy Smith coming around the outside in red. It's Ronnie Corrie. It's Belle Vue 1 and 2 again. The deficit for Oxford is going to be increased. More heat winners coming from Belle Vue, and they're packing well here behind Ronnie Corrie in front. Andy Smith in second place. Third in yellow is Craig Boyce. On the outside and in white, that's Steve Johnston. And really more class from Belle Vue.
Oxford are really struggling, Tony. They are. Boyce is not going particularly well. I think he was trying to warm that engine up. I think his bike was pretty cold, and Steve Johnson's bike, he seemed to have stopped at the back. But of course, the Belle Vue boys, Ronnie Corrie's just pulling away, riding brilliantly, and Andy Smith's covering that second place and having a great ride round. Both riding the quick line now.
While in front it's Ronnie Corrie in red. Second place in blue is Andy Smith. This is going to be another 5-1 to Belle Vue, which will extend their lead to a mammoth 20 points, and Oxford certainly won't pull that back, and Belle Vue will go to the top of the league tonight. Their captain Ronnie Corrie takes the checkered flag. Andy Smith yet to be beaten by an opponent. A great night for the Belle Vue fans, a great night for the Belle Vue riders, and Ronnie Corrie, winner of Heat 10, is the 10th successive individual heat winner for Belle Vue tonight. They are flying here, and could they be league champions?
To boot. Blimey, that was a bit of an introduction, wasn't it? Chris Morton, you're such a Belle Vue fan. You must be devastated. You must be over the moon tonight.
Brilliant, actually. I've not been down here for a few weeks now, and they've got a team here that's going to win the league, I feel. Cracking team they've got.
It seems that they've got lots of heat winners, and each member of the team is really pulling out 100% at every single meeting, and that's the consistency that you need to win this elite league, isn't it?
Certainly, they've got a strong team that, as you say, every time they go out there, the other team have not got anybody to beat them. Paul Hurry's having a good go, and we've seen some cracking races, I think, that maybe belie the fact that they're getting thrashed, but we've seen some good racing, and I think we're looking at a team here that's going to go on and win the league.
So, Chris, what is it that's pulled you down? Is it a special occasion tonight?
Well, it's the first time that live speedway has been at Belle Vue, certainly at this venue, and so I thought I want to see how they're going on, because I've noticed that they've pulled together a strong side, and like I say, that they could be the winning team this year, which has attracted me.
What's your feeling, Chris, about the Elite League? Who are your who do you admire most? Which riders do you, not necessarily in Belle Vue, but in the league itself?
I don't know. I mean, it would be a Belle Vue ride because we've got the strongest riders in the league. You look in the averages, and there's 4 guys in the top 10 that are actually in the Belle Vue team, and there's no other team that can actually field more than one. So I'd have to say I'm a big fan of Jimmy Nielsen, so I'd go for Jimmy.
I think Jimmy's on fire tonight. I mean, I was talking to him about the GP at the weekend, and he just is so fired up for it. It's incredible.
Yeah, great to see. I mean, he's been around a while, I know Jimmy. He used to ride when I was riding, which is now a long time ago, and he is a guy I would always put some money on Jimmy, because he never gives up. He can make starts and he can come from the back, which is great to see.
Well, it's lovely to see you here tonight, Chris, and thanks for talking to us. So,
Laukkanen, the impressive reserve, goes from gate 3. Todd Wiltshire, of whom Oxford have hopes, goes on the outside. It's been really winning from everywhere. Here we go. This is heat number 11. Could it be another Belle Vue win? Way on the inside. Jason Lyons holds it tight. Going round the outside is Todd Wiltshire. He's going to take some catching. Oxford 1 and 2. This is a shock, but Lyons would do it. Lyons is going round the outside, picking up the speed. They tried to keep him out, but look at that brilliant ride by the Aussie from Mildura. Jason Lyons, who's already qualified for this year's Grand Prix Challenge by his place in the Intercontinental Final, has gone round the field as if they were standing still.
Yeah, Laukkanen's having a big go as well. He's on that same bit of track there where Jason Lyons just went round the outside. There's a lot of passing going on in that same spot on the corner, Tony.
Look at Laukkanen in 3rd place, putting the challenge on the man in white, Todd Wiltshire there, but way ahead of them certainly is Jason Lyons. But look at that battle. Laukkanen has come through. The cheers of the Belle Vue fans behind us pick it up. This will be another 5-1. A truly brilliant ride by this man from Finland and the man out front, Jason Lyons. And, well, it's a marvellous night for Belle Vue. A disappointing one for Oxford, but a great night for Belle Vue. Another 5-1 in that heat for them. 45-21 they lead with just 4 heats remaining. But Jason Lyons has made it now for him 3 heats in a row, and they've provided the 11th successive heat victory for Belle Vue individually, and Jason Lyons is on a roll. This man could go all the way in the Grand Prix next year. Belle Vue are going all the way here tonight. It was exciting from the tapes, but after that, well, they took over, did Belle Vue.
I've spoken about Todd Wiltshire starting before. There he is on the outside. What a great start. There he is in the white helmet. Just zooms around the outside on that first turn. Now, it looks as though it's all over here. He's got the race covered. Of course, Jan Steckman's in there with him in 2nd place. But just look at Jason Lyons. He's very, very wide. Now, this is the point on the track where there's a lot of grip. Right in that point there, Todd Wiltshire's just missed that bit of track. Jason Lyons was right on it, and he's gone right round the outside of Todd Wiltshire. Brilliant ride from him. Now, Kai Laukkanen's in there. He's having a go. Wiltshire's looking across. He realises there's a great threat now coming from Laukkanen. Now, just watch this manoeuvre here. Laukkanen goes too wide, misses that spot, but then this is the next turn. Again, that exact same spot where Jason Lyons did that overtake. The same thing was done by Kai Laukkanen. Great riding from the Belle Vue boys.
A great ride.
My way around this track, so, that helps quite a bit.
I just love the way he's so deadpan. Look, he's riding out your skin. Yeah, well, you know. Hey, flying it, you know, it's...
Maybe this will inspire him. Let's take a look at the start again, because
right.
that'll perhaps give us an idea to look at your form in action. Yeah. How did it look for you coming off there?
Not really good, actually. It was quite marbly, but, you know, I got across there and didn't quite get the dirt quick enough. And then, you know, I'm going backwards there, not going anywhere. And then I was in a lot of trouble there.
Right, you actually went too wide, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you looked like you wanted to stop Todd coming round, and you actually sort of went off the line too far.
Yeah, definitely. I maybe should have been better off stayed on the pole line, got a good way to ride around there, but I went in there quite hard, and it paid off.
Oh. Kai actually did the same move about a lap or so later, and it seems that there's some grip out there.
Yeah, there's not a lot there now. It's quite wide, but you know, it's still enough there that's working, so it's good.
Jason, what about personally? I mean, you must be delighted that the way it's going, obviously, for the club, but you've also got now the chance of going to the Grand Prix Challenge and racing in the Grand Prix next year.
Yeah, you know, I'm taking every race as it comes. You know, Speedway's a hard game, but, you know, I'm enjoying it at the moment, and Belle Vue's, you know, it's a great team to ride for, and, you know, we're doing quite well, and, you know, just every race as they come sort of thing.
Yeah, how do you feel about the Grand Prix Challenge? Because it's in Italy at Lonigo. I feel personally that could be a track that suits you.
Yeah, I rode there in the World Team Cup only a couple of months ago, and you know, I got quite a few points around there, and I enjoyed it. So obviously the challenge is going to be a lot harder meeting and a lot more desperate people there, but you know, hopefully, you know, I can put 5 good races together.
Well, wish you best of luck in that one, and well done again tonight.
Stakeman and Craig Boyce come in as tactical substitutes to replace Alan Rossiter and Steve Johnson. Jimmy Nielsen from Belle Vue goes on the inside. Jan Stakeman for Oxford Gate 2. Jason Hawkes for Belle Vue Gate 3. Craig Boyce on the outside. He has looked unbeatable. Starting Marshall walks away for this heat. Number 12, away they go. Nielsen is in front again. He goes wide as soon as he can. He goes perhaps too wide, but picks it up well now. They're 3 abreast out front, but Nielsen now stretches it ahead of the rider in white, Craig Boyce. Back in 3rd place in yellow, that is Jan Stakeman. Tail off at the rear is Jason Hawkes, but class epitomises the effort of the man out front. Jimmy Nielsen, the current world number 2, has this heat for the taking, has this to complete 4 successive heat victories for him, and with half of the race to go, he's in command.
Yeah, Jimmy seems to control the race right from the word go. I mean, it's as though that he sets the pace for everyone else to follow. He makes the right decisions, the right moves, rides the right lines, and that's what he's doing now, and he's just totally on his own, nobody with him, and probably the best job in Speedway is for the person that cleans his leathers, because I don't think he has anything to do.
Certainly not on tonight's showing. Oxford packing into 2nd place with these 2 tactical substitutes. Jason Hawkes struggling at the back. He won the reserve heat earlier on tonight, but this is going to be a share of the points and 3-all. The 2nd place goes to the man in white, Craig Boyce, the Oxford captain. 3rd in yellow, his teammate and partner, Jan Stakeman. A share of the points for the heat. That, after 4 successive 3-alls early on, is the first since then. It's the 4th.
Not too bad. I will be lucky in one of my rides, but yeah, not too bad.
Great preparation for what is important for you, that Grand Prix coming up right here in Britain on Saturday.
Yeah, it's nice. You know, I go 1 over in England, and it's nice for me. I'm living here, so makes life a lot easier. So I'm looking forward to it, and Coventry enjoy.
Sure, you've been really consistent in the Grand Prix so far this season. You've made all the A finals. Do you feel it's about time you actually sort of managed to win one? Because obviously you've been so close.
I think it's about time I win one now. I mean, it's been very, very close, and you know, Coventry looking good, but obviously we've got 4 rides to do, and hopefully I'll be on top on Saturday night.
You've obviously ridden there plenty of times. Is Coventry a track that you can excel at?
Yeah, I love it. I enjoy Coventry. My bikes works very well around there, and I'm looking forward to it.
Someone's got to stop this Gollop fella, haven't they?
Yeah, and hopefully it could be me, but I mean, someone's going to do it, and you know, it could be me or Tony or anybody, or Jason, if for that matter.
So you know the bike you're going to ride, or the setup you need?
Yeah, we got everything set up. We know exactly what we're riding. I'm going for a practice just for formalities, really, just to ease my mind about it. I know what I'm doing.
Right. Well, that's perfect. If you know that, you know, that's a nice feeling. If you know the setup, the gear, and everything else, and obviously things are looking good for you.
That's it. It's good. I mean, every Grand Prix I go to, we know before we go what we're going to use, and every time it's turned out pretty good. Apart from Wroclaw, we were a bit going a bit mad at time, but it turned out good in the end.
All right, well, you're looking good tonight, and we're looking forward to seeing you in action.
But Ronnie Corrie goes from gate 2. That's the Belle Vue captain. Paul Hurry, unlucky with machine problems earlier on for Oxford, goes from gate 3. Jason Lyons, who's having a tremendous night with 3 successive heat victories, goes from the outside. Belle Vue in charge, well and truly, leading by 48 points to 24. The starting marshal moves away. Heat 13, away we go. Problems with the tapes there, but the referee lets it go on the inside. In red and picking it up is Ronnie Corrie, but look at Jason Lyons round the outside. It's Belle Vue 1 and 2 again. They knew exactly where they were going from the tapes. They picked it up on the first lap, and from now it looks fairly simple for these 2 class riders out front, Ronnie Corrie and Jason Lyons, to take all before them once again.
Yeah, this home track advantage business, these 2 guys here, they're really showing you how to do it. First and second here for the Belle Vue boys. Jason Lyons is riding the outside run. Ronnie Corrie's covering the inside. The corners are very, very wide. The straights are very, very wide, but the corners are quite tight, and it does tend to put some of the away riders off, Tony.
That man who took a part in designing the track is Peter Collins alongside me. He knows it inside out. So do these 2 men out front with just under a lap to go. The man in blue is Jason Lyons in front for his 4th heat victory of the night. Ronnie Corrie, his teammate, partner and team captain, is in 2nd place. The Oxford men are struggling at the back, but the Belle Vue fans are cheering again for yet another maximum heat victory. The consolation point goes to Paul Hurry in 3rd place. That's 5-1 to Belle Vue. It's now 53-25. The slaughter of the innocents continues. This is simply not Oxford's night, but it certainly is the night of the Belle Vue Aces, and they're
new kettle of fish, isn't it?
Yeah, I hope I can surprise everybody and get on that rostrum.
Yeah, how big is an event like Coventry to you? Because, I mean, you've been around in the Grand Prix. We've seen you put in some great performances, but you haven't really got to the point where you've got to the final when all your fans are watching and you've really pulled one off, have you?
Yeah, I've got to the last stage and then just missed out, dipped out the last bit. Hopefully I can do it this time. Everything seems to be going good tonight, and keep the same setup because it's virtually the same track.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, the bikes you're using here this evening, is that going to be the similar type of thing you're going to use at Coventry?
Yeah, I reckon the coming here and riding around here is going to help me a lot for Coventry.
Right. And do you feel it's, obviously, I was talking to you earlier about your engine tuner was sort of letting you down a bit and you were having to do some of the service work yourself. You feel that you're up to that they're going to be on top fettle for the weekend?
Yeah, I feel that they're going a little bit better than they were before. Maybe I've took a little bit more time doing a few things and learning a bit and adjusting things and finding things out, and it's working better.
Yeah, it must be, because obviously your performances for Belle Vue are very consistent, and you're going very well.
Yeah, I don't think my average has been this high since I was 17 years old.
Well, that's got to be great, you know.
Yeah, because I think at the moment it's 9.45.
Well, good luck on Saturday. We'll see you there.
Yep.
And
the Dane on temporary loan here at Belle Vue goes from gate 3, and Paul Hurry, 15 metres back, goes from the outside. There is Paul Hurry. He has work to do. Starting marshal moves away, and away they go. Hurry's got work to do for the background, the outside. Laukinen picks it up on the inside. Going right in white is Craig Boyce trying to put pressure. Hurry's got an awful lot to do. He's not gaining anything so far, and he has 4 laps in which to do it. He looks as if now he's going to go by Rennie Madsen before very long. Madsen will hold his place on the track. Laukinen out front is making ground. Craig Boyce is behind him, but the tactical substitute at the back, Paul Hurry, still has work to do, Peter.
Yeah, Paul's about to pounce on Rennie Madsen. He's got that outside run around the outside, and he's used it. He's gone straight past him, so that's up to 3rd place now for Paul Hurry.
It's going to be interesting tactically because they get more points if Boyce lets Hurry go by him, and that would make it more respectable. I wonder what will happen. There's a lap and a quarter to go. Rennie Madsen is out of it. Kai Laukinen is charging away to become heat winner number 14 for Belle Vue tonight if he stays there. But Boyce will have to allow Hurry to go through to get the extra point. There he does. He goes through into 2nd place. That'll give him 4 race points for this one. But the winner, no doubt about it, in blue is the impressive Kai Laukinen. 2nd in yellow is Paul Hurry. 3rd in white is Craig Boyce. And certainly, well, they got something out of it, but Kai Laukinen was impressive in the extreme, and from his point of view, well, he got 3 points. There were 5 points. Goes to the inside gate. The unbeaten Jimmy Nielsen of Belle Vue goes from gate 2, world number 2. Paul Hurry, unlucky tonight, 1 major engine failure, goes from gate 3 in white. On the outside, Jason Lyons, who's ridden like lightning all night, already in the Grand Prix Challenge for this year. The Australian from Mildura in splendid form, and way up the averages at the moment is pull something back. Starting marshal Rob Galitas goes away they go, and on the inside surprise here because Craig Boyce has picked it up in yellow. Boyce is in front, but look at Lyons Lyons steaming around the outside. He's tracking Boyce on the inside. In red is Jimmy Nielsen. Remember, there are 6 laps to go. This is only the first of them. Lyons picks up the lead at the end of lap 1. And what a rider he is at the moment, this Jason Lyons.
Tony, I keep saying this, but every time there's an overtaking manoeuvre, it's always in that same spot, and the Belle Vue boys know exactly where it is, and it's all happening now because Jimmy Nielsen is actually at the back, and he is struggling to get by Paul Hurry.
Well, Jimmy Nielsen has it all to do. That's a surprise. Perhaps he's taking it easy. Perhaps he says better safe than sorry with the Grand Prix in mind. But no such problems for the man out front in the blue helmet colour there. Jason Lyons from Mildura completes 3 laps. He's in front now. The starting marshal put the flag out. He doesn't know it's 6 laps. I have to tell him we're on 3.5 gone now with Jason Lyons in front. 2.25 laps to go as Jason Lyons heads this pack ahead of the rider in white, Paul Hurry. Oh, a pack up. Jason Lyons has packed up. He's got a mechanical problem there, Jason Lyons. I don't think he thought it was only 4 laps, but he's still moving, and Jason Lyons is out of this, and Oxford are going to get a rare heat victory. It's going to be the last heat with a lap to go. Time to look back for Craig Boyce. Consolation, but it's all come too late because Boyce has Paul Hurry immediately behind him. This is going to be an amazing 5-1. We'll have to find out what happened there because really Jimmy Nielsen wasn't at the races. Jason Lyons packed up, and the race is won by the rider in yellow, Craig Boyce, the Oxford captain, ahead of Hurry. Back in 3rd place is Jimmy Nielsen. That a real surprise. It's now 57.35, and well, look at this. Craig Boyce, the starting marshal.
We're out doing a few laps before the meeting, and the old batteries ran out of charge.
Well, apologise for that, Kelvin. Don't do that again. But hey, great guys, brilliant display. You must be well pleased, Ronnie.
Great night. I think everybody rode really well. You know, we needed it tonight. I mean, it puts us tied with the top of the league at the moment. So I mean, we couldn't ask for a better night. It wasn't very close for the TV-wise, but it was good for us. I think we're all pretty pleased about it.
Kelvin, you were pretty impressed. Any of the boys you want to pick out?
Absolutely. I think that, well, Jimmy, obviously, I don't know quite what happened in your last race there. I don't know if...
Not too easy. So that's hard work, but that was a good night.
Yeah, brilliant. But obviously, Andy, you're going really well, and the build-up for the Grand Prix this weekend, you've got to be delighted with your form here.
Oh, yeah, I'm so delighted with the way the bike's gone tonight. It's perfect for the Grand Prix now.
And Kai obviously kept us entertained. Obviously, the first race where you crashed and got excluded all in the same heat, and then you bounced back with 3 rides coming from behind. Again, you're flying tonight.
Yeah, this was a good meeting again. Hopefully coming next one, Friday, good one.
All right, okay.
Well, I have to tell you, at the beginning of this meeting, all your fans came up here and said, what about Belle Vue? You haven't mentioned Belle Vue. Well, I can do now, and I can tell you that you are top of the pack right now. The fans definitely want to see you right here.
All this side, and plus, you know, with Kyle and Jason going really well now too. I mean, I think we got a really strong team, and I think the reason why we can't stay at the top of the league at the moment.
Well, there it is, confirmation. Belle Vue are leading now.